we will turn it over to Minister Vandal for today's announcement.
Thank you so much. And Masi, Udlakut, Tansi, and hello. I'm very pleased to join you from my office in St. Boniface, St. Vital in Winnipeg, homeland of the Métis Nation and Treaty 1 territory. And I'm pleased that I'm able to be joined by the Premier of the Northwest Territories, Caroline Cochrane, and hopefully Michael McLeod, MP for Northwest Territories, who's been a great leader on this issue. Communities and families across the North have told us that one of their greatest challenges is putting healthy, nutritious, and affordable food on the table. And today, 5 communities will have to worry a little bit less about their next meal paying higher costs for food and other essential items throughout the year. We are pleased to announce that 5 more communities in the Northwest Territories are now eligible for Nutrition North retail subsidy during the seasonal periods of isolation. And I want to thank Premier Cochrane and MP McLeod for their leadership in advocating for these communities and making this announcement possible. We just met with representatives from Nahanni Butte, Sikachik, Fort McPherson, Inuvik, and Tuktoyaktuk to discuss the expansion of Nutrition North and how we can continue to support their needs. And I'd like to express my sincerest appreciation to everyone that participated and is on this call. We had an informative discussion on food security, and I look forward to continuing our work together. The retail subsidy will lower the cost of perishable foods, and including fruits, vegetables, diapers, medications, and cleaning products. And it will be available to residents when food costs are highest in the spring and fall during the breakup and during the freeze-up periods. To support families during the pandemic, the government provided to Nutrition North Canada, and in Budget 2021, we were providing well over $163 million of new money to expand the reach of this program. Currently, Nutrition North operates in 121 isolated and northern communities. And today we're pleased to that this number now includes 19 remote communities in Northwest Territories. Nutrition North Canada is just part of a broader whole of government approach to address food insecurity in the North. We will continue to work together in collaboration with partners to support Indigenous-led and locally led solutions, ensuring that Northern families have the support they need to keep healthy, nutritious, and affordable food on their table. No one should go hungry because of where they live. So, miigwech, marci, kuyanamik, and look forward to speaking with everybody later. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Minister Vandal. Premier Cochrane, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Minister Vandal, and good morning, everyone. Food security, like Minister Vandal said, is a real and pressing issue for most people that are struggling with poverty, especially poverty within the Northwest Territories. So I'm more than pleased to be here today alongside Minister Vandal, and hopefully Michael McLeod, our MP, will attend. I hear he's having technical issues. But we're here to announce the expansion of Nutrition North to include the 5 more N.W.T communities. Food is a vital part of culture, well-being, and health. Food security is essential to making healthy choices and living our best lives. Research consistently shows the link between wholesome food choices and healthy eating, and having access to affordable and nutritious food is vital to improving the health and well-being of our people and our communities. It's through the strong partnerships with territorial communities and the Government of Canada that we're able to make this announcement today. Sigachik, Fort McPherson, Inuvik, Tuktoyaktuk, and Nahanni Butte will have expanded access to funding through Nutrition North to help support the residents gain access to more affordable food and help businesses ensure food and essentials are available all year round. For communities such as Sigachik, it can be challenging to ensure access to affordable and nutritious food during our lengthy breakup and freeze-ups. The program expansion to their community will help provide year-round certainty and access for retailers and residents. This policy change is an example of strong collaboration and engagement between all levels of government. Earlier this year, MLAs passed a resolution in the Legislative Assembly for the government of the Northwest Territories to address the issue of food insecurity. The expansion of this program is a direct result of the government's efforts to make progress on this issue and listening to what MLAs and communities are asking for. Addressing food security is a priority for this government. We identified it in our mandate, and we are committed to increasing food security through efforts to support locally produced, harvested, and affordable food. It is also a key priority in our anti-poverty action plan. We've taken a whole of government approach to this issue through the establishment of the Food Security Interdepartmental Working Group to ensure collaboration to address this important issue. The government of the Northwest Territories continues to engage with Indigenous communities, governments, and the government of Canada as we work together to build a more food secure territory for all of us. However, the work doesn't end here. It's important that we continue to work together to create strong policy decisions that support the unique needs of the North. The impacts of the global pandemic are being felt in many sectors, and it's important that we continue to have meaningful engagement to ensure that we are able to maximize resources and supports for residents. I do want to take a moment to really thank Minister Vandal for his actions on this. He's been more than active listener to the Northwest Territories. He's been a strong advocate for us, and I truly appreciate the efforts that you put, Minister Vandal. I also want to thank Michael McLeod, our MP, who has been a strong lobbyist with the federal government and also works directly with the N.W.T and the communities to hear our words and carry them forward. On that, I'll turn it back. I'm not sure who's going to be taking over the meeting now that MP McLeod is having difficulty.
Hi there. Thank you so much, Premier, and thank you, Minister. We'll now open it up for questions and answers from the media. Again, if you wish to ask a question, use the raise hand function under reactions at the bottom, or send me a message in the chat. And just one quick note, there was somebody who joined by phone. Was that MP McLeod by chance? No? Okay. Are there any questions? Oh, okay. We have Char Morritt. If you could just identify your outlet, please.
Hi, yeah, it's Charlotte Morritt. I'm with APTN National News.
Great. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Merci for the press conference. I'm wondering if there can be a little more detail on how this expansion will look. I know communities such as Nahanni Butte don't have a chain food store like a Northern or a co-op, but rather the band runs like a little kind of grocery store. Is there more detail on how this will roll out? What kind of funding, dollar signs this will be? Just a little more detail that can be spoken to? And this, I guess, would go to whoever is most appropriate.
Maybe I will begin and then go to one of the support people in public service to add in that detail. I think from my perspective, what's essential is that people on the ground, people living in the communities, will have more affordable food when this subsidy is actually fully implemented. And I think traditionally, the subsidy, it goes to isolated communities. So part of the subsidy would likely go to the transportation or the retailer. But I think the important part, the key consideration, is that people on the ground that go into the stores, wherever they buy their food, will get less expensive products than if Nutrition North was not there. And that's really the essential for me as minister. And I will turn it over to Matt or another person in the public service to talk about a little bit more detail.
Oh, hi, it's Mario Brillant from Nutrition North Canada. The only thing I would add to the minister's comments is with respect to Nahanni Butte as an example. So if they have a registered retailer, so we have eligibility on retailers and southern suppliers, and so a deemed registered retailer with our program, and we're off and running at that point in terms of them being able to claim the subsidy and then pass it on to recipients. So the implementation still in the works, obviously, but all those details, the key detail being that they need to be a registered retailer with the program.
Great. Follow-up, Charlotte?
Yes, thank you. My follow-up, I guess, would be what measures will then be taken to ensure that that subsidy is passed down to the consumer, and that it doesn't end just with transportation or the retailer receiving that benefit?
Well,
go ahead.
From my perspective, the evidence will be in the pricing of the product. If the product is not any more, if it's not more affordable, then the program is not working. So there has to be a reduction in the actual product that's purchased by the consumer or the citizens. So believe me, we have an advisory committee. We've done several audits of the program, and there is benefit to the consumers or the citizens, and that's the evidence. And we have public service officials that are also working on the implementation and the monitoring.
Perfect. Thank you. We now have Andrea for Northern News Service. Go ahead. Oh, thank you for the message, Andrea. Our mic isn't working. So her question is, how was the decision made to make these 5 communities eligible?
Well, yes, from my perspective, we know I've been doing Zooms and phone calls, and for the last 16, 18 months, I've spoken to many people in the community, including the Premier, including the MP, Mike McLeod, who basically advocated for these communities. The public service did their due diligence on eligibility criteria, and the decision was made after that through a recommendation from the public service. Perhaps I could turn it over to the Premier to see if she would like to add something.
Thank you, Minister Vandal. Yes, like I said, it's important that we work with communities and we listen to the needs of communities. I had made the wrong assumption when I began as Premier that most of our, if not all of our northern communities actually had access to Nutrition North. It was during a community tour that I'd gone to Sigachik, and I was talking to the council there and the mayor, and they explained to me that they didn't have access, and yet they were cut off 2 times a year when the freeze up and the break up for the ferries, and their prices of food was horrendous. So I promised them at that meeting that I would carry forward their concerns and lobby the federal government for them. But then I came back to Yellowknife and I asked my department to actually check into all the other communities and see if there were other communities such as Sigachit that were cut off because of ferries, etc., that didn't have access. So they put together a list and then write a letter writing and phone calls, of course, to Minister Vandal. But I do want to say that, oftentimes when we lobby the federal government, it can take years. I really commend the federal government in this one. We wrote a letter, we made a few phone calls, and our efforts were shown and the federal government listened. So I can't, again, thank the federal government enough for recognizing the needs and the extreme expense to live in the Northwest Territories. Thank you again, Minister Vandal.
Thank you. Andrew, I don't know if you have a follow-up, but you can type that in if you do. Oh, perfect. No follow-up. Any other questions from the media? Okay, seeing none, this concludes today's media availability. Thank you everyone for joining and have a wonderful day.